Today we're going to be talking all about purchasing liquidation pallets online versus purchasing liquidation pallets locally. So if you want to see anything about that, stick around. What is up, beautiful people? TJ here with another episode. Today we're going to be talking about purchasing liquidation pallets online versus purchasing them locally. If you have a local liquidation place that is close to you, you can't go and purchase them at the store and get those, bring those to your warehouse or to your store or to your garage and resell those goods. Now, a lot of people has been asking me the last few days about shipping costs and different things that has to do with buying these pallets online. So I'm going to be giving you as much information that I have about actually purchasing those liquidation pallets online. All right, so let's talk about the process for purchasing these liquidation pallets locally. So whenever we go through, when I say we, I'm talking about me and April, whenever we go through and we purchase local pallets, we go through and we do our due diligence at the beginning. So we always look for a Facebook group, or we look for a website, or we actually go to the place first and kind of scope it out before we make a purchase, just to make sure, you can meet the owner, you can meet the people that work there, you can kind of build that rapport where you can build a trusting relationship and they won't screw you. So all of the local places that we've been to, we've actually met the managers, or we've met the store owners, and we've kind of talked to them about what we do, what we like, the different pallets and stuff that we like. And a lot of times whenever you build that trust and that relationship with them, they'll try to procure goods that you like. So if you like electronics, they would try to get electronic pallets, and whenever they get those, or whenever they know that those are coming in, they may send you an email, they may give you a call and tell you that, hey, we're about to get this inventory in if you are interested in it. So sometimes that gives you like a leg up on other people that could be purchasing locally. Now, I'm not saying that every liquidation place is going to do that, but just speaking on our specific interactions with these liquidators, we've been able to establish those types of relationships. So I would imagine that would happen all over the United States and all over the world. So whenever you're going in and you're going to purchase a liquidation pallet locally, you want to make sure that you go online, you type in their name. So a lot of people ask me how you find them locally. So the way that I found them is through Facebook and through Google. So I'll go on Google, I'll type in liquidation places local to me, or I'll type in liquidation pallets, or I'll type in liquidators or something like that. A lot of times a Google search will get you to a place that is local to whatever surrounding area you are in. So locally to me, which I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, is anywhere in North Georgia, as well as places in Tennessee. Now, some of these places do require you to travel, or do require me to travel to. So we have to make a travel plan, and I'll talk about that here in just a minute. But if we have warehouse one that is about an hour and a half away from my house. We also have North Georgia Liquidation, that's in North Georgia. It's really at the Tennessee-Georgia line. So if you are in Tennessee, or if you're in North Georgia, this place is really good to go to. We also talk about War on Retail, which is in Alpharetta, Georgia. So it's a little bit south of Atlanta. So that's about a 2-hour drive, especially with traffic and different things like that. So there's a couple of different places that are local to me that I can use. There's a couple of them that we've actually went to that we didn't really jive with the business and their business model. So we didn't purchase from them. That's your prerogative. That's your option. You want to make sure that you are doing business with people that are reputable and people that that you can have a positive relationship with. So whenever you scope out where you want to purchase your items from, you need to look at how you're going to get the items from the local place to your to whatever place you're going to store these items in. So whenever we first started, of course, we was bringing everything back to my garage, and so we had to have a truck. I didn't have a truck back then, so I would have to rent a truck. If you don't have a truck, one of the hacks that I use is that you can go to Lowe's or Home Depot and you can rent a flatbed truck or a just a pickup truck for $19.99. Normally, depending on how long it is with miles, you're going to be $30-$40 just renting that truck for the allotted time. I believe that normally they give you 90 minutes for that $19.99. So if it's a place that's where you can get to there, pick up your pallets and bring them back in that 90-minute period, that's going to be really good for you. But if it's going to be a longer rental, you may want to look at renting a U-Haul or a budget rental or something like that just to kind of get you from point A to point B. I've rented a truck from Enterprise. I've borrowed trucks before from people just to get pallets. So eventually I purchased my own truck, and I was able to get these pallets in with my own personal truck, so I don't have to rent anything. But you know, now we got into the space where we need like a box truck. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. You just need to make sure you understand how you're going to get the items from point A to point B. A lot of times whenever you buy pallets from these places, they want to go ahead and get you to get the inventory off of the floor, so they can get inventory back onto the floor to replace those sold items. Now, North Georgia Liquidations, they don't really give you like a time frame. I can purchase from them on like Wednesday and go pick it up on like a Friday, and it's not a big deal. So you just got to make sure that you talk to the owners, see exactly what their policy is for purchasing items. They may want you to take it right then, and then you'll have to organize getting the items out. So like I said, I would go in and make sure that you jive with the place that is selling the items. You go in, you walk around, you look at the merchandise, you pull your phone out, if you can get to barcodes, you scan those barcodes. A lot of times they don't like you digging through the pallets. But most of the time, if they have plastic wrap around them, you can see what the items are. So you can Google the names of the items, or if you can see a barcode, you can pull out your Amazon seller app and you can scan the barcode, or you can do that through the Google app. I know it works on iPhone. I'm not sure if it works on Android, but you can pull up the Google app and just scan the barcode, and it will give you a price of what the item is. I recommend if it's in a used condition, so if it's not in a brand new condition, or if it has box damage, you want to go onto eBay, use their barcode scanner, scan the item. You can see what the item is actually selling for by going over to the side, clicking on sold items, and then it'll show you all the items that actually sold, what they sold for. So that kind of gives you an idea of what you are purchasing and making sure that you are getting the most bang for your buck. So I also was talking to a user about how to price your items, especially when you're purchasing locally, because a lot of times when you're purchasing locally, you're not going to get a manifest. Now there is a place that we purchase from locally that does provide a manifest, but for the most part, you're probably not going to get a manifest from a place if you're purchasing it locally, unless it's one of the big places like a Barton's discounter. You know, they may provide manifest, but if you're going to a small place, they're not going to manifest. They're just going to pull off the truck and they're going to price it, and then they're going to, you know, sell it to you. So you do have to do your due diligence. Sometimes it goes through trial and error. You kind of have to look at what you've purchased in the past. So we know that when we get Home Depot pallets, if there are big boxes of lights, if there's multiple lights, we know that we can flip those lights on Amazon, depending on the condition, of course, depending on the box. But in general, we haven't purchased a light on a Home Depot pallet that we haven't sold for near retail price. And that's just our personal story, and that's just what we've been able to accomplish with that. So whenever you do purchase items, you kind of get a feel for what you can sell, what your niche is, what your market is. We don't necessarily have a niche, so we just kind of sell whatever we get. But we do try to get a variety of different things. Like we just got a shoe pallet in. That's something new for us because we never sold any shoes or apparel or anything like that. So you just want to make sure that you look at the items, understand exactly how much you plan to make on that pallet, and don't spend any more than that. So whenever you are calculating your cost for getting a local pallet, you look at the pallet cost. Let's just say it's $200. Let's say you have to rent a truck. The truck is going to be $50. So you know that it's going to be $250 for you to purchase that pallet and get it to and from your place that you're storing the items at. So if you know that you can make $1,000 on that pallet, just based on a couple of items that you saw by looking at it, this is probably going to be a good purchase. You know, you're looking at about a quarter of the cost, and you're probably going to make at least 50%, which would be double your money. So you really have to look at what your profit margin is, what you want to look at. Some people try to stick around the 10% range. I'm a little more realistic. I look at from 15 to 25%. because I just haven't been able to find those awesome deals on a regular basis. So I say between 15 to 25% of retail cost is the most that I want to pay for a liquidation pallet. I don't want to purchase a pallet for $500 and I'm only going to make, if you look at everything brand new, it's $1,000, because you're not going to make your money. You may make your money back, but you're not going to make a lot of profit with those profit margins. So I think that's all I got to say about liquidation pallets locally. If you have any specific questions about local pallets, put it down in the comment section below and I will try to answer you. All right, so now let's talk about purchasing pallets online. So we purchase pallets from a variety of online resources. The biggest one that we do is bulk.com. They've been really awesome. We've never really had a pallet from bulk that was bad. We've got new pallets, we've gotten like new, we've also gotten unexpected returns, and all three of those conditions we've been able to make money with purchasing pallets. And they always have pallets, new pallets every day. You can go in there and check and they've got new pallets in. They've got an app, it's easy, everything is manifested. You know, the manifests are about 90% accurate. They say 95%, but I say about 90% accurate. So as long as you know that you can make your money back on the pallet and you are going to make some profit on it, I'll go ahead and shoot and try to get it if you can. Lately, with the COVID-19 thing going on, they've gotten more new pallets in. I think a lot of the newer pallets are like Target items. So you got to watch Target items, because Target items don't necessarily sell online well. So like I said, you just got to go through and see what people are actually purchasing. Now, if you have a local store, if you have some where people can actually come through and physically look at and touch these items, those Target items will do well, especially because they're brand new. So you will be able to buy, you will be able to sell those, but online, Target items just don't do well for us. So we go to bulk.com. We also use liquidation.com. That's more of a bid style, and I'll talk about bid style here in just a minute. But we use Wholesale Ninjas. They're not bid style, they just have a price, and they give you the shipping costs based on the weight and the size of the pallet that you're purchasing. They also do cases, which are a lot cheaper to purchase and ship. We also use Quick Lots. That's one of the newer ones that we've been able to use. I have no complaints on Quick Lots. We've gotten some really good stuff from Quick Lots. So if you want to check them out, I'm gonna put links to all of these websites that I'm talking about in the description section below, so you can check them out for yourself. There's a couple of them that we are trying to test out. So we've gotten Smart Lots. That's one of the ones that we hadn't ordered from, but we are looking to purchase from them. They ship online as well. Now, let's go back and talk about bid sites. So Liquidation is one of the places, liquidations.com is one of the places that we first started. That's where we actually purchased our first pallet from, was liquidation.com. And I actually got that from Random Frank P. He was doing these liquidation pallets that he was purchasing, these electronics. I'm like, you know, you can buy an electronic pallet for $300 or boxes for $300, and that's where this started from, was from me watching a video of him unboxing a liquidation pallet. So on the bid site, what you have to look at is, so the bids, a lot of times they're low depending on what's on the pallet. Now these are normally manifested, so you can look and see exactly what's on the pallet, but you don't know what the condition is most of the time on these bid pallets. So just make sure that you watch what you are paying for the pallet versus how much the shipping is estimated to be. Sometimes the shipping is less than what the estimation is, sometimes it's more. So you got to really look at the estimated shipping cost and take that like as Bible. Like if it says it's going to be $300 to ship or $250 to ship, that's probably how much it's going to be. So you need to add that onto the cost of the pallet and also add in your taxes if you are not tax exempt. So you take that whole amount that you just calculated and you divide that by how many items it is, and that's how much you're paying per item. So if it's really close to retail price, you don't want to get it. I'm just telling you right now. We've purchased pallets before that was really close to the retail cost, and you know, you end up losing money, or you end up making just what you paid for, which is not, we're not in the business to make equal money. We want to make some money, So just make sure that you understand exactly what you're purchasing, how much it costs, and how much you're going to be able to sell it for before you actually put those bids in to make a purchase on a website like liquidation.com. Now, there's a couple of them. I think Direct Liquidations is a place we never ordered from, so I can't give you any insight on those places because we don't really like purchasing from bid sites because sometimes the price gets hiked up. The shipping costs kind of sometimes is outrageous. So you just want to make sure that you are looking at the full spectrum of what you are doing. Now, the good thing about bulk.com is that you can see exactly what the shipping is. It used to be a flat rate shipping, but now it's a calculated shipping. So they have warehouses in different places. So you can choose a website or a warehouse that's actually closer to where you are, so the shipping costs will be a lot less than if it's across the country. So you can choose the warehouse that's closer to you, see what they have, and then they'll tell you right then on the moment, what your shipping cost is, and that will be whatever the shipping cost is. If you are purchasing boxes or cases, they're going to be a lot cheaper than if you are purchasing a pallet. But we've actually been doing well with purchasing cases, especially during the COVID-19. We've been able to purchase a lot of cases, get that stuff listed online, and we've been able to keep our business afloat by doing that without having the highest shipping cost, because of course we couldn't go to any of the local places because they were closed. So you just want to make sure that you're looking at how much the cost is for the pallet plus shipping plus taxes. That's going to be your overall cost, and that's what you're going to be evaluating your profitability off of. So now let's talk about profitability and profit margin. So I'm going to include a link to a video I made about an Excel spreadsheet that I use to kind of look at the profitability of your inventory that you're getting from a liquidation pallet. So the way that we do it is we go through, we pull out every item, we put down what we paid for it. So if you have a pallet that costs $100 and you have 100 items in it, that means you paid $1 for each item. Now, if you bought a pallet for $100 and you paid $100 for shipping, and so that brings your total cost to $200, that means that you paid $2 for each item. So you doubled your costs automatically. Now, with that pallet, it may be worth $2,000, right? So you paid $200, the cost or the value is $2,000. So you may make $1,000 on that pallet, which means that your profitability is going to be a lot more than if you had paid $200 and it's worth $500. You know what I mean? So you really have to look at your profit margins and how much money you actually want to make or how much you think you are going to make from a liquidation pallet. So if you follow my pallet jacking page, which I highly recommend, especially if you are thinking of getting into liquidation pallets, I put it up here where it's gonna be right here in the cards. Boom, right there. All right, so I'm gonna put a link to the pallet jacking page, and a lot of times what we'll do is we'll break down the pallets. We'll tell you how much we paid for it, how much value it is, and how much we actually think we're gonna get from those pallets. And then we also make videos about how much money we actually made from those pallets, so you can see what actual profit you could be making from getting into liquidation pallets. So going back to profitability, you just want to make sure that each pallet you make, you're going to at least make your money back plus some. So I don't recommend purchasing a pallet where you're going to make equal money unless there are certain caveats to that. One of the things is, so one of the ones we purchased one time, these pop sockets, and we were selling them on eBay. We got them on another liquidation pallet. It had like electronics and stuff like that. And I said, who's gonna buy these pop sockets? They was actually hot sellers. So we actually had like 183 of them or something like that. And we sold out of them in like 2 weeks. And what it did was it had a residual effect. So what it did was it showed that we had, like, our store was booming, and it boosted all the rest of our sales on eBay. So what that did was it propelled us to like a top rated seller. And we sold out a lot of inventory in that 2 to 4 weeks where we were selling those pop sockets. So we actually ended up purchasing some more pop sockets where we was going to make about equal money, maybe a little bit more money depending on how many they purchased. But that further propelled our eBay store up to a higher level because we had a huge volume of sales in a very short period of time. So that's the only time that I would tell you to go through and try to make equal money. If it's something that you can get a lot of, that's low cost. So those pop sockets, we pay like $2 a piece for them. We may have made $2.50, you know, on them. So we may have made 50-cent profit on them, but it pushed all the rest of the items that we had in our store to make our overall store profitable. So that's just something that I experienced. I don't know, there's no science behind it. I haven't done like a bunch of research on it. That's just from my personal experience what happened to us with the pop socket. So that's the only time I recommend getting anything that is going to be equal money. So I think that is going to be it for today, guys. I really appreciate you guys for watching. If you like these types of videos, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Also hit that bell icon so you can get notifications whenever I release new videos. So I really encourage you all to go follow our other channel, youtube.com/palletjackin, PALLETJACKIN. I'll put a link to it up here so you can click on it. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.